Time for a Hot Wheel Room update. I'm just going to focus on the Hot Wheel Room and not the whole museum, as there's the most new stuff going on here, whereas the museum is kind of just still the same way. Anyways, part of this video as well is going to be a quick review of a whole bunch of these premium Hot Wheel car culture sets, 50th anniversary, and the retro entertainment stuff, as well as whatever these are, these decades cars, I guess. Most of the stuff I had to buy online. We'll look closer at that. Only some of it's getting opened up, but I realize that most of the stuff is reviewed already on YouTube long before I get my hands on it or get around to filming it anyways. So just kind of more for my own interest to share with everyone that likes to watch this channel what I've been collecting and why. But yeah, the Hot Wheel room has changed quite a bit on this particular wall. It used to be covered with carded cars such as the ones I just showed you. But I'm in the middle of putting up Plano cases in place of that. I had to repaint the wall as I had some damage from removing that strapping that held up the cars, which is quite unfortunate. It had been up there for about 4 years though, so that's probably why. But currently I am sorting through my very complete variation collection of mainline cars starting after the Blue Card series, which I've been using the help of Mike Zarnock's Variations Ultimate Guidebook to put them all in the correct order, even though they were mostly already organized quite well, leaving spaces for variations that I believe I may have a chance at attaining, although this is a bit extreme. I'm not really sure I'm going to fulfill all that, but at least I'll know how many variations of each car there were. And these are, of course, all cars that were released around 1997. Some really nice castings in here. And it's just really nice to go through all these Plano cases full of cars. I've probably got about 200 cases full of cars released between 97 and the mid-2000s. And it's just quite a throwback to go through all these old cars that I remember kind of growing up with and playing with. And these are all mainly mint examples, except for the ones I've put on their side, letting me know that I've got a chipped one that probably needs to be replaced at some point. But yeah, it's these cars haven't seen the light of day, so to speak, since basically I sorted them and put them away into the Plano Hot Wheels storage containment closet. And as you can see here, I've got them fairly well organized. This isn't too hard to do. Just the main time-consuming thing is making a space for each variation. You can see I've already got the collector numbers kind of sorted for all the cars in these cases. And there are quite a few. I'm probably not going to get all these cars into this particular room, but I may expand out into the Hot Wheels Museum, as I've got plenty of Plano cases on the wall there already that could be filled. So still getting through stuff that I've bought lately. Got quite a few interesting videos coming up. I've got some old vintage Hot Wheel videos coming up. Waiting on a few more cars before I do that one. Some Larry Wood collection vehicles there that are very rare, hard to find. We looked at the Johnny Lightning last video. Those cool junkyard cars are still just hanging out in the diorama. But today, let's take a look at some cool Hot Wheels stuff. And this is still fairly new. I think this is probably the newest item I have here, in addition to the retro entertainment. Some really nice card art in this 5-car car culture set. And then below that, the retro entertainment. I bought this set mainly because, for once, it's all cars and not just a bunch of weird spaceships and things. But there are some really cool cars in here, including these two. I never was able to acquire this car before, although I know it was released previously, possibly slightly differently in this series, as were these two cars. That's the slightly disappointing part, is that there's a lot of repetition in this retro entertainment series, and I'm not really quite sure why. And that possibly Mattel just has too many of these castings that don't sell, so they must just repackage them with a slight variation perhaps, if at all. And this is an older car culture 5-car set, the Golf set. I just never got around to reviewing it. So we'll just take a quick look at it. You've probably seen it before, as well as the 50th anniversary, the final 5 vehicles in this 10-car set. I was finally able to find them at a reasonable price. So we'll take a look at those as well. And by chance, I was at my local Walmart, and wouldn't you believe it, this never happens, I found the full 5-car Fast and Furious Fast Import set, which I've already reviewed. Those ones are getting opened up for my wall collection, the Plano wall collection. So let's take a look at this stuff. Ooh, one last thing. this decade set, if that's what it's called. Really nice to see that they've brought back the use of the black wall wheels, which we haven't seen in quite some time. And obviously I really like black wall wheels. There's only one car here, I think. Yep, one car with the 5-spoke SP5s, but it still looks really good on that car. And as I'm sure all of you, most of you know anyways, I really like my black wall cars because that's basically what got me into collecting Hot Wheels in the first place, was completing my black wall collection from 1974 right through to 1995. So yeah, anyways, a little bit of backstory on me in case it's been a while since I talked about that. Let's get into this video now. As most collectors of the premium Hot Wheels know by now, Mattel's really stepped up the game with the quality on these cars so far as the artwork, and the paint jobs, and the tampo work. They've always had metal bodies, metal chassis in the premium lineups, rubber tires, but now they've really put a focus onto completing the tampo work so that the car has a lot of realism so far as license plates, tail lights, emblems, reverse lights, headlights, marker lights, and then of course a nice paint job and tampo, as this Skyline here shows. It's even got like a fading stripe up the hood and some very small printing on it, some advertising or logo sponsors, but really good work. So I just thought I'd start with the collection I've already reviewed once as a kind of a stepping plate for all these cars, since they aren't getting opened up. And sometimes looking through the plastic on these cars, it's generally pretty good. You can see the car quite well, but you're always going to have reflections and a slight loss of detail. So it's been a while since I've opened up a premium case because I haven't been able to find these cars in the sealed boxes like I used to be able to on eBay, where you get 2 of each car in the way that Mattel ships them. The shipper cases have 10 vehicles. Well, the sellers nowadays generally just open up the box and split the shipper case into 2 and sell each of the 5-car sets in an extreme markup, which is unfortunately just the way it's been. And me living in Canada and only able to buy a lot of this stuff from American sellers, it's getting quite expensive. The shipping is really starting to get up there, and I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to do all the premium lines as I've been able to do, as well as buying the Greenlight cars I enjoy buying. Even the Greenlight stuff I'm having to limit now. I don't buy nearly as many of the hobby exclusives. Some of the prices on those vehicles are going well over $20 Canadian, and even American sometimes, which ends up being like $30 Canadian. For instance, like the Dually hobby exclusive trucks. But that's another story. These are costing me about $12 to $15 Canadian each when I have to buy them online, if you roll in the shipping costs, which is pretty extreme. Although these cars that I found at my local Walmart were $7 plus tax, so that's $8. You know, I'm paying basically double to add these to my collection as to what Mattel originally intended the price to be for them to the consumer. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Right now, there's a lot of demand for these cars. There's a lot of resale because of the demand, and I don't think it's going to last forever, to be honest. I think the collector age will slow down in the next decade or two, but I suppose entrepreneurs are enjoying it while it lasts, and luckily I'm just enjoying the collection. But you know, everyone has to place a budget, including myself, on this, although some people do joke and poke at me that I don't seem to have a budget. The truth is, this is my main hobby, so anyways, I can afford to put a little bit more into it than other things. Beautiful Skyline here with a very colorful, real-to-life paint job. This is a real car. We'll just quickly look. There's all 5 vehicles in the set. They all got quite a big mouthful of a name with, you know, the designations, so we'll just kind of zip through that. But that's a nice looking piece, and I think that's the same car. Pretty well, same car? Nope, not the same car. Yeah, anyways. Again, there we go. It was the same car as this one, which was released in the Fast Furious. What do you like better, the solid black or the colorful? I don't know. I like them both. Mercedes-Benz. This is a nice casting. It's had a few different paint jobs over the last couple releases. And here it is in red with the Momo logos on it. Pretty cool. I think it's always sported the same wheels on every release of that car though, which is interesting. Be nice to see it with something else on it. Another Mercedes-Benz. Probably one of the more expensive Mercedes to buy in real life. And extremely fast. The art's all the same on the back, so we can stop flipping those around. Acura NSX. This is a really nice casting. Big spoiler, so obviously a full-on race version of this car. Nice wheels on it. Would be nice if I had 2 sets of these to open up. It really is enjoyable opening up the sets, but the artwork on these is so nice, and at some point I may end up opening them. I always say that, but usually they just go into storage or originally back onto that wall that I had, which is now gone, of course, and being replaced with old Hot Wheels, old $1 cars. So we'll switch gears over to the Retro Entertainment. I think it's still called that. It might be called Retro something different now, but I don't know. It doesn't actually say anywhere on the packaging. This packaging's really nice, much like the open track cars we just looked at. We've got another Acura NSX. So some of these castings are even in the same, like, month or 2 apart. They're releasing the same model with different paint jobs in different premium lines. There's got to be a cost-cutting reason to that, and obviously the collectors are still soaking these things up, including myself. So it is a business after all. What do you expect? Then we've got the Doctor Strange Lamborghini Huracan Coupe. Quite a nice car. These Lamborghinis always demand a high premium price on the secondary market. And yeah, great movie, so a lot of attention there. Gas Monkey Garage. Like I said, I think this car, well, I know this car was released in a previous retro line, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is the exact same car with no variation differences, or if there is, quite subtle. But I was happy to get that one because I missed it on the last one. The reason why I missed it was because my local stores don't stock them, almost never, and all the other cars in that original lineup of the 5 vehicles that had this one in it, I think, were spaceships and goofy things that aren't Hot Wheels to me. They're just toys wrapped in $7 packaging. So here we've got the Back to the Future DeLorean. Interesting, it doesn't even say DeLorean on the package. Kind of strange, but anyways, that's what it is, the DeLorean. Featuring the wagon wheels, which is kind of a nifty touch, I thought. It's actually got wagon wheels on it. Never seen those wheels before. So for that reason, that's a worthwhile addition to the collection, even if it is somewhat repetitive. This car, I believe, is a full-on repeat of the previous Ford Super Deluxe that was released. It's got to be well over a year ago now, if not more. But I have this already in my Retro Entertainment collection, I think even with very similar card art. So I wonder if they just rebranded the copyright on these and repackaged them. I have no idea. Not sure why that one would be a car they would think would be really desirable in the premium series, but it is. It is in that series. So, and now we're going to look back at the Car Culture Golf series real quick, because I know these have been looked at already by just about anyone that collects this stuff. Fiat 500D, kind of cute little artwork. There's the full 5 cars. And what else we got? Yeah, that was one of the main reasons to get this set. The '69 Ford Mustang Boss. Really nice casting with amazing wheels on it. And again, these cars, like all the other premium cars, are decorated quite well with headlights, taillights, tampos. Only complaint for this awesome car, the Nissan Laurel 2000. Why did you guys paint the base orange? I mean, I know it's golf themed and everything, but paint the whole base orange to get the orange spoiler on the front. Wish they had just left that chrome and maybe just painted the base or the spoiler orange. I don't really like those unrealistic colors there. This one's alright, the Volkswagen Golf. You know, it's nicely detailed. It does have the rubber tires. It's harder to tell with this one. The rubber because you got so much plastic in the center of it, but pretty nice McLaren F1 here. Would look better without the orange wheels, but perhaps that is how it is in real life. I'm not sure if this is an actual race car or not. I wouldn't be surprised, as Mattel often does, you know, real-to-life duplicate the vehicles in 1/64 scale, which is awesome. And the old drag bus from the 50th favorites, part of the 50th anniversary. So I mean, this is 2018 stock. There's the full 10 vehicles in their entirety. Alright, the first 5 cars were easy to find, the second 5 not so much, as is often the case with Mattel releases. They seem to just pump out the first waves of cars, and then by the second wave they're either not being released in the same quantities. This is the best vehicle in the set in my opinion. The little red express truck in the full quality format. But anyways, it could also be that by that time they're being soaked up by the scalpers and collectors to the extent that they're just too hard to find. Also, they'll put in like the most collectible car of the year in with the set, like 2 or 3 of them in the last wave, so then, you know, people are buying up these just to get the 55 Chevy Gasser here in purple with a lime green roof. Cool car, you know, it's really cool, but I don't understand the prices of some of these cars going on the secondary market. Here you've got a classic old 69 Camaro. It's a nice casting. Kind of reminds me of a release back in the Garage series, going back to about 2008. Actually, I think there's one that's almost exactly like that one. And then we've got the 65 Ford Galaxy in the Golf Tempo. So you can actually, when you open up all your Golf cars from the premium set, it goes in nicely with those. You end up with a 6 vehicle set instead of a 5. But that's a really nice Galaxy. Probably the second favorite car in this set for me. So that is those, and then finally we'll just take a quick look at these Decades cars. Whoops, just about knocked the camera over. Probably going to end up opening these up, but I won't for now because I still have to sort out where they're going to go. Little Morris Mini, you've got the full set on the back, which is nice when you're in the store and you're not familiar right away with the set. At least you can see which cars you're getting, which cars you're missing. It's nice when Mattel does that. This is by far one of the best cars in this series, 65 Ford Mustang, opening hood. Beautiful metallic blue with an authentic paint job, chrome base. These all feature a plastic base and the plastic vintage style black wall wheels, which I think still look great on any casting, any and all castings, but I am a black wall collector, as I said, from the years back when this was like one of only 3 wheels, the main wheel that Hot Wheels had, so it looked good on all those cars. All the cars in the background that you see all feature this wheel, basically. This is a really cool casting that we haven't seen in a while. I think it's called the Cadillac ELMIRAJ, and a very expensive sport coupe type Cadillac from the early 2000s. It still looks very modern to this day, but I've never seen it with black wall wheels, and in this all red look, it looks like something you'd see cruising the highways in Dubai or something, like just really out there. And then you've got the Bone Shaker with the black wall wheels. Bone Shakers always hold their value and are collectible. No doubt this one will be as well. Much like the old drag bus casting of years ago, the Bone Shaker seems to be really taking on its own little interest, in addition to all the JDM cars, obviously, that have most of the interest right now, like the SKYLINE. This BMW looks amazing as well in the black wall wheels. The artwork's pretty cool, and these cars aren't that expensive. I think they're like $2 at the store. You're paying a slight premium. So probably one of the better deals to have out there for a car with a little bit more interest than just all the silly paint jobs you see mainly on the mainline cars of today. Although that being said, the mainline cars for 2019 are looking pretty good. I've got quite a few already stacking up on my my mainline collection out in the museum portion. But we'll do a video on that as I have more cars. Again, another subject that seems to be covered quite thoroughly on YouTube nowadays. Back when I started my channel in 2006, I was one of only a handful of people making videos about Hot Wheels. As everyone knows now, that is not the case. So thanks for sticking with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, happy hunting.